Don't run into us.
Yeah. Hey gang, Jim and Sharon. As you can see, I got my work duds on, so we're doing something to the rig today. We're looking at the back of the rig here behind us, and one of the things that you'll notice is that there's only two lights, two stop lights, down here and one over there. And we're always thinking about, you know, being visible, nobody rear ends us, that kind of thing. We've decided that's really not enough. So what Sharon is holding here is we're going to add a couple of auxiliary tail light, turn light, stop lights. Yeah?
Yeah.
The tail lights, they do the turn signals, and they are also
They do
a
it
stop
all.
light.
And they're nice and big.
Yeah, so we're going to install these here on the back of the rig so that we improve our visibility.
Don't run into us.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the things we have to think about whenever we're about to install these things is putting holes in the rig, of course, which is something we never do lightly. But we have to worry about the placement of those holes because there's structural members back behind this these walls here, and we don't want to run into one of those. So this is what we're going to use. It's just a, you know, $20 stud finder like you get at any of the big box home improvement stores, and it works pretty well. So I happen to know from my fooling around here that there's a metal stud right about here, you know, aluminum beam. So we can put this down here, and just like you do, turn it on. And there it is. That's the center of it. And if we come down here, it has an edge detector, so it shows that we're past the edge about an inch. So that's where we're going to put it. And we've also had to measure, of course, where we're going to put it centered wise. So this side is going to be about in the center. The other side is going to be just centered with the tail light. Okay, so we see in here, this is on the driver's side. This is the beam we're trying to avoid, this guy right up here. So our hole is going to come in down here, just below it, about an inch or so. And on this side, we have the same beam up there. I'm not sure this is actually going to show up. Let's see if I can bring it in like that. There we go. The beam is about the same size, so it's going to about the same height off the ground. So we're going to bring the hole in there as well. So it should be just fine. So okay, we're going to get started and drill a hole. I'm going to drill a pilot hole with a 1/16 bit. Now you'll notice that I've marked, I put some painter's tape up here so we can mark it and not mar the surface of the rig. Okay, so we're now going to follow that up with a somewhat longer 3/16 inch bit. There we go. It's always fun doing these things at Terra in a campground because the neighbors think you're crazy. They don't know what you're doing. There we go. Now then, we have got to run 3 14-gauge wires through this, so I need to go up probably to 1/4 of an inch. Actually, after thinking about it, I'm going to go to a 3/8 and to give myself lots of room. There's really no reason to skimp on this. We're going to seal both the hole and ultimately the tail light with silicone, so we're going to go ahead and go to a 3/8 so we don't have any trouble getting the wires through. Okay, we're all set with the mounting, well, the first hole for routing the wires. Actually, we have got to drill at least one more because where we're going to connect the wires is to the tail lights. This is open up underneath, so I just have to lay on my back and the wires are readily accessible. But there is a floor right about here that I have to drill a hole through to get down to these wires. So second hole we have to drill. Well, that ought to do that. Okay, so we got the hole in, and it's right over here. So it's not exactly underneath, right underneath it, but it's probably 2 inches off to the side. That's all right, not a problem. Okay, let's talk for just a second about putting screws into fiberglass. We're going to drill a pilot hole, but the pilot hole through the fiberglass needs to be the width of the screw, including the threads. Now, you know that we'll frequently, when we're putting a screw into wood, we'll drill a pilot hole, but the width of the bit, the size bit you want, is just the width of the screw without the threads, because you want the threads to bite into the wood. Okay, with going through the fiberglass, we want all the threads and all to slip right through there. Fiberglass will split on you, so you don't want to put any pressure on the fiberglass as you're putting that screw in. So we're going to go with a 9/32 bit to get through the fiberglass, and then I'll probably go with the 1/16 till we get into the wood underneath it. I'm going to get it plumb. And as soon as we see the wood, we stop. So now we'll take the 1/16 inch bit and we'll drill the pilot hole in the wood. You don't have to get this on there very tight, because really you're going to seal it with silicone. That's really going to hold it. So anyway, we got one guy in. Alright, so I'm going to say that this is probably 2 feet. I need about 2 feet off there, which is going to be plenty. I'm going to cut some of this off. It's just going to be too long. Okay, so we got the wires on this one. Now punch them through that hole and off we go. Okay, now we're going to try and feed this through there. Yeah, I did go ahead finally and tape the ends together. Okay, I'm going to put the screws back in. Okay, now to make the connection to the tail lights, we're going to be using these little guys called, well, the box calls them quick connects. I've always called them pinch splices, and really all you have to do is just position the 2 wires in there and crimp this guy down and lock it, and it's good. These always work great for automotive purposes, so that's what we're going to use. Anyway, so here's where we're at up here. These are our wires coming down from tail lights, the new tail lights, so we're going to cut those and we're going to splice them right in here. Yeah, the way this works, this is the ground, this is the tail lights, just the running lights, and this guy is the stop light, turn lights. Okay, and there we have it. Everything is wired up and we've tested, it's working. We have the headlights on so you can see that they're not going all the way out, just dimming, and then we've got the emergency blinkers on. So that is working exactly as it should. Okay, so we got it all working now, and so now all we have to do is just dress up those wires a little bit. I'll get some wire ties in there and make sure everything looks nice and neat. And we're done. We've got ourselves a set of auxiliary tail, turn, and stop lights. So that makes the rear end of the rig a lot more visible. So there we are. If you like this kind of video, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, we'd appreciate you doing that. And until next time, we'll see you later.